Hey everyone. All right, it's time for another Q&A. But in this Q&A, we're going to do things a little differently. We're going to only discuss BATUU, Galaxy's Edge. So before we get started, if you want your question answered in a future Q&A, I basically pick from Twitter or the YouTube comments below. You can find me on Twitter at OrangeGrow55, or you can comment your question in the comments below. I pick from either one of those sources, and I just might pick one of your questions in a future Q&A. So again, this is an all Galaxy's Edge Q&A. Let's dig right in. And the first question comes from Showcase of Wishes. And Showcase is asking, do you think we will ever see roaming droids on BATUU, which was shown in early concept art, or flying ships possibly? Well, thank you, Showcase. I do appreciate your question. And I do want to say right off the bat, Showcase of Wishes is a really, really good friend of mine. He has a YouTube channel of his own. He lives in Florida, Walt Disney World. He does amazing content, you guys. Subscribe to his channel. Check him out. He does all kinds of stuff in terms of like on-ride videos. He films all the shows out there in Florida. Huge Epcot fan. He's a great guy. Really, just give him a subscribe. His channel is amazing. Showcase. Now, to get to your question, do I think that they'll add the roaming droids, maybe flying ships? Yes, absolutely. I think that's the plan. And I think that they probably have all that stuff in place already, but they're hesitant to roll it out right now because they're just trying to manage the crowds, and they're trying to, they don't want to make the congestion worse than it already is. So I don't think we're going to see any of these roaming droids for a while, maybe for the first 6 months, or so. But I think that once the crowds die down and things kind of normalize, I think we'll definitely start to see them include more of these little roaming droids and what have you. It's definitely a crowd issue. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter say, oh, well, the lawyers, the Disney attorneys, they don't want the droids because it might run over someone's foot, or someone might trip on it. I don't agree with that, just because Disney does other things like this. They have Push the Trash Can, which is basically the size of like an R2. I mean, it's essentially the same thing, and they're not worried about people getting ran over by that. So why would it be any different with R2 or some other droid that that's a comparable size? I don't think they're going to have like these little small BB-8 kind of droids rolling around, because that might be a danger for guests. People might not be able to see that, and they might trip over it. But droids that are like this high or so, like an R2, yeah, absolutely. I think they're definitely going to add those in. That's the plan. And I think the only reason they haven't is because of the congestion and keeping the walkways open, at least for now. In regards to flying ships, probably not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Disney has dabbled in the flying drone thing. I remember in Florida, they had a few years ago the dragon fly over the castle for New Fantasyland, and it was incredible. But really, Disney hasn't really dabbled too much into that arena. I can't really see them going that route anytime soon. Maybe down the road eventually, but I think that we'll see the on-the-ground little droids way sooner. Thank you, Showcase. I appreciate the question. And the next question comes from Sean, the rise of Sean. And Sean is asking, how different would it be in July versus right now? Queues for everything, waiting times, and the overall level of immersion. Well, thank you, Sean, for this question. As you all know, Disney implemented a reservation system. You cannot just walk into BATUU right now and just do your thing. You have to have either a hotel, you have to be staying at one of the Disneyland Resort hotels, or you had to go online and do a reservation through the website. That reservation system ends in a few days, okay? I would imagine that once that reservation ends and things start getting normal with the blackout days for the annual passes and things like that, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be so much busier than it is right now, to be honest with you. So if you are planning a trip to Galaxy's Edge in July, definitely plan ahead, leave early, get to the park early. They are, in terms of like the Savi's workshop, the Savi's lightsaber workshop, and the cantina, I think Disney is still going to have that reservation system in place after June 23rd, 24th. So if you're coming in July, you'll still have to do those reservation systems for those two offerings. So keep that in mind. But yeah, it's going to be busy, Sean. It's going to be super, super busy. It will honestly be way busier than it is now. Right now, the crowds have been really manageable because they're only allowing a certain amount of people in at a time and for only a few hours. In July, that's not going to be the case. It's basically open to the public, and you can just walk right in, and it's going to be a completely different situation. So just plan accordingly because it's going to be bonkers. Well, thank you, Sean. I appreciate the question. And the next question comes from our friend Theme Park Wizard. And Theme Park Wizard is asking, how epic do you think Rise of the Resistance will be? Well, Theme Park Wizard, it's going to be beyond epic. I think this is going to be Disney's most incredible attraction they've ever built. Right now, I think Indiana Jones kind of has that crown. But Rise of the Resistance is going to change all that. This is going to be an incredible attraction. From everything that we've heard, it's going to be an Indiana Jones style dark ride, big, massive, incredible sets, and even rumors of a massive drop, like a Tower of Terror drop at the end, kind of simulating that you're being ejected out of an escape pod. And it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It will definitely be Disney's best attraction ever built. In my opinion, that's my prediction. I think it's going to happen. But yeah, it's going to be epic, man. It's going to be totally epic. It's going to change the industry. It's going to set the new standard as to what guests expect, from e-tickets. It's really going to raise the bar. So I cannot wait. And hopefully it opens sooner rather than later. Thank you, Theme Park Wizard. I appreciate your question. And the next question comes from DAC, BGW, Epcot, DCL, and DW Trash. Okay, so the question is, do you think we will get multiple adventures for Smuggler's Run, where down the line, each ride you go to a different planet each time, sort of like Star Wars, the adventure continues, but just one planet for the entire ride each time? Well, thank you for the question, and yeah, I think there's like a 99.9% chance that we get different adventures. I think this first month or so of Galaxy's Edge being open, or kind of open, I think they're kind of just wanting to kind of get it kind of into a rhythm, kind of get everything working and just kind of running smoothly. But I think that once Galaxy's Edge has really got its rhythm and things are running for a few months, I do think that we will see the introduction of new adventures. Now, also keep in mind, we have a brand new Star Wars movie, Rise of Skywalker, coming out in December. Okay, you guys all know Disney. You think they're going to sleep on that? You think they're going to miss an opportunity to promote that film? Of course not. We're probably going to get a Rise of Skywalker adventure on Smuggler's Run. I can almost guarantee it. Historically, they've done that with Star Tours. With the new Star Wars movies, they added like a Last Jedi scene. They're going to add stuff every time a new Star Wars movie comes out. I can assure you on that. So I would guess that these new adventures will probably, premiere within a few months, maybe in the fall. And it'll probably be tied to the new movie. That's just my guess. But yeah, they're going to add, these screen motion simulator attractions, you can do so much with them. And you can change the adventures and change the missions. It would be silly for them not to utilize that. They're going to do it. They even did it with Star Tours. They're going to do it with Smuggler's Run. I can guarantee it, and I can't wait for it. I really am looking forward to seeing what other stuff we can do with the Falcon in this attraction. Because like I said in my review, I loved Smuggler's Run. I thought it was a fantastic ride. It was so much fun. Thank you so much for the question. And our next question comes from Andrew Balderrama. And Andrew is asking, do you think the size of the cantina should have been bigger than the current size of the bar? Well, Andrew, well, no, I don't. I think the size of the cantina is fine. It's actually not that small. When you really get in there, it's really not that small of a space. The issue, the mistake that Disney made was canceling the sit-down restaurant that they had planned for Galaxy's Edge, which also, undoubtedly would have also served alcohol, which would have spread, the crowds a little bit. Okay, the cantina is the only spot in Batuu that you can go in there and get a drink. If they pursued that sit-down restaurant, you could have got a drink in there, and it would have split things up. Okay, I think it was a big mistake for Bob Chapek or whoever decided to cancel that restaurant, because first of all, it's like they're leaving money on the table. I mean, do you know how much money they would make in a restaurant like that, a sit-down restaurant in Batuu? Like it would make a mint, a fortune. So I don't know if there's space now to even add it in there. Hopefully there is, but they need to build that restaurant, and I think that would alleviate some of the pressure off of the cantina. That was the mistake. The size of the cantina itself right now is not the problem. The cantina is a decent size. It's not like Trader Sam's where it's like a broom closet, I mean, the cantina is a sizable building. It's just there's such high demand that it's just not enough. If they open the restaurant and serve alcohol at a restaurant, that'll kind of ease the crowding off the cantina quite a bit, I think. All right, so that concludes this ALL-BATUU, All Galaxy's Edge Q&A. Thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And like I said earlier in the video, if you want me to answer one of your questions, on Twitter at OrangeGirl55 or in the YouTube comments below. I pick from both of those sources. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And as always, may the Force be with you.